So there's been a fair bit of discourse around The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered in the lead up and especially right around the time of launch, in the fact that a lot of people didn't think this game actually warranted a remaster, being only 4 years old, calling it a cash grab and lazy by the team at Naughty Dog, especially after just cancelling their multiplayer game. And so today I wanted to just kind of go over whether or not I think the remaster was actually worth it. Now, the first thing I'll say is that this probably was too soon. I'm very keen for the game. I've been playing it a hell of a lot since it launched, but I do agree that this remaster was probably too soon. The original was only in 2020 and it looked and played absolutely phenomenal even on the PS4, as well as the fact that it has actually had an update for the PS5 version of the game, meaning you can play the PS4 version on the PS5 with an FPS boost and stuff like that. So in that sense, I do think that this remaster was probably a little bit too early. With that being said, The Last of Us show was obviously a hit, and leading into season 2, which they're just starting to announce the cast for and stuff like that, they obviously want to make a lot of new fans, I guess, welcome to the world in terms of the games and being able to experience the best version of the game, at which point I do absolutely understand wanting to remaster this game for the PS5. Now, for me, the main key to it not just being a lazy cash grab is the fact that it is only a $10 upgrade for those who actually already owned the original version of the game. They could have easily made that full priced. Hell, I probably still would have bought it for the extra content, to be honest, because it is one of my favorite games of all time. But if that were the case and it was full priced, I probably would have actually said that that is a genuine cash grab. I wouldn't have really complained myself because I love this franchise, but I don't think I could really defend that from being a cash grab. I think that would be pretty much the definition of a cash grab, at least the way that they have done it in terms of making it only a $10 upgrade. And I've even seen on Twitter, for example, people actually got refunded. They bought the full version of the game without knowing that there was the $10 upgrade, and Sony has actually refunded them, giving them the game for $10 when they actually didn't have to, because that person just bought the full price game. So for me personally, that kind of shows they're not just milking this for every dollar that they can. For me, that kind of rules out the fact that it is a cash grab. I can kind of see what people are going for when they say that. I can see how it would maybe come across that way, but like I said, I think the fact that this is a $10 upgrade for those who already own the game, I think that really does kind of negate that point. Now, before we go any further, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. There is going to be plenty more content focusing on The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, so make sure you don't miss out. Now, moving on to the actual changes, or I guess the upgrades when it comes to the remaster. Obviously, one of the things, or one of the key things when it comes to any remaster, is the graphical enhancements, and in my opinion, they are hardly something that I can even notice when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I will say the FPS is definitely noticeable for me. You can definitely tell the difference between a 30 FPS and a 60 FPS, and although 30 FPS is fine, I actually just played Starfield last year, and that is locked to 30 FPS when it comes to the consoles. It doesn't bother me at all in a game like that, but with that being said, 60 FPS is definitely a lot nicer and a lot crisper. So the FPS boost that the game gets is definitely very, very nice, but outside of that, the actual, I guess, the look of the graphics and stuff, it is borderline identical in my opinion. Now, where I do massively, I guess, differentiate from most of the people complaining about the remaster is the new no return game mode. For me, this absolutely is a game changer when it comes to whether or not this is actually worth it. I'm having so much fun with it, and to be honest, I'll probably spend more time playing no return than the length of the whole last story, which is around the 25-ish hour mark. I feel like I may clock up 50 plus, maybe even 100 hours of no return, whether that's all around the time of launch or whether that's over the next year or so, I'm not too sure, but I feel like I will be playing this game a hell of a lot. And so for me, spending $10 for all of that extra playtime in what is already one of my favorite games of all time in terms of the original, that is just absolutely a no-brainer. And for me, that is what differentiates this from being a bit of a cash grab and a, I guess, pointless remaster to being something that is absolutely worth it. There is also then the lost levels, which are obviously an amazing touch. They didn't need to have that in there, and it's pretty cool to get some, I guess, behind the scenes content that I don't think we really see from a lot of other dev companies out there. A lot of the stuff they mentioned in that is stuff that they generally just keep to themselves. I don't know why the gaming industry is so secretive with that kind of thing, but it was all very interesting to watch and I guess actually play along with as well. So the lost levels are also something that for me, I probably would have actually paid the $10 for the lost levels. I just love the Last of Us franchise. Any little tidbits we can get, I absolutely love listening to. I've listened to all of the podcasts and stuff like that. And so those lost levels for me, that alone is probably worth that $10, let alone no return, like I said. Now, I've actually got a video coming up on all of the cool info that we learned in the lost levels, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that as well. For me, realistically, because of those last 2 points, this remaster is 110% worth it, despite a lot of people probably disagreeing with me. Like I said, I can kind of see where people are coming from in that it does seem very soon for a remaster. The game already looked amazing and it doesn't really look that much better in the remaster. So at face value, I can kind of understand all of those comments, but for me, it is just absolutely worth it with that extra content. For the people who have played the game, it is a $10 upgrade for a replay of one of the top 10 or so best games ever made, in my opinion. And with that comes an FPS boost, an awesome DLC in no return, some really cool behind the scenes content with the lost levels. All of that for just $10 is just beyond worth it, in my opinion. I think I would gladly pay probably around $40 for that and it would still feel like it's worth it. Then again, keep in mind that is a little bit biased because I'm just such a super fan of The Last of Us. I get for everyone else it might not be the same, but for me, I would gladly pay even more than $10 to get all of that content. Now, that's for people who have played the game, but for those who haven't played it yet, well, yes, you are paying full price, but you are buying the best version of one of the best games of all time. If the original game was worth full price, then explain to me how this one isn't worth full price when it's actually better than the original. And keep in mind, it is actually cheaper. It is only about $75 Australian, when pretty much every new launch that comes out is usually $100 Australian. So it's not even really full price. And like I said, even if it was, it is absolutely still worth it because the original game was worth that. And so how is this one not also worth that as well? Like I said, I absolutely think that this remaster is worth it. Now, did we need it? No, we definitely didn't need it, but who really cares? Did we need the TV show? Not really, but most people loved it, and the same goes for this game as well. So for those who don't want it or need it, luckily they aren't obligated to buy it. You can gladly just not buy the game and it doesn't affect you in the slightest. Yet for those of us who really do love the franchise and want to not only just replay the game, but also get some extra content, it is absolutely worth it for only $10. In my opinion, it is a win-win for everyone. Those of us who want it can obviously get it, and those who don't want it, like I said, you can just stick with the original game. That is still an amazing game and it doesn't really affect the people who don't want the remaster. Now, this is obviously a slightly controversial topic, so I'm keen to hear all of your thoughts down in the comments as well. Be sure to leave all of your thoughts below. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day and I'll catch you all in the next one.